Here are the 5 secrets about natural acne healing that your dermatologist is not telling you. Hi there, my name is Therese, and believe it or not, I had really bad acne for over 15 years, and I finally cleared my acne naturally with food via my acne clearing program, The Clear Code. If you're interested in learning more, click the link below to apply. Otherwise, subscribe to my channel and hit the bell to be notified when I post more natural acne clearing videos. There are 5 secrets to healing your acne naturally that your dermatologist will not tell you about. And they are, number 1, blood sugar management. Number 2, product elimination. Number 3, defining hormonal challenges properly. Number 4, liver detoxification. And number 5 is healing your gut-skin axis. So we're gonna go deep into those secrets, but first, I want to talk about why I feel dermatologists and kind of modern medicine are getting these things wrong. I feel like they're all attempting to treat acne, which is like a chronic condition, right, with Band-Aids. They're putting pills on the problem, or they're putting hormones on the problem, right? And those Band-Aids are really only addressing a symptom of the issue, not the actual issue, aka the root of what's happening for your acne. And I think this is for 2 different reasons. Number 1, I know that there was this myth years ago that food didn't impact your acne, right? That what you ate had nothing to do with your skin, which is insane. Number 2, I feel like everyone's just gotten a little complacent, to be honest. There are these options like Accutane, hormonal birth control pill, all these things, and they think, they work for some people. They work. The second you stop taking them, they stop working, but they work, so why not just continue on? And the problem with things, for example, like Accutane or benzoyl peroxide or the birth control pill, is that I feel like they're just addressing specific aspects of acne and not the root issue. So for example, Accutane, for example, works by decreasing the size of your sebaceous glands in your skin. The sebaceous glands, they're responsible for creating sebum. And when your sebum's controlled, breakouts stop. Which again is like just addressing one aspect of the acne clearing process. You need 4 conditions at the pore to have a breakout. I'm going to talk about those in a second, but that's only addressing one aspect of the issue. A lot of topicals I feel fall under the same category too, of addressing only like one aspect of the problem, like using a Band-Aid. So for example, benzoyl peroxide, clindamycin, even oral antibiotics, those drugs work by killing the P. acnes bacteria at the pore, right? So it gets rid of that P. acnes that basically is kind of the final step to a breakout. But it doesn't address the whole issue. Because when you're dealing with acne, there are 4 conditions that you need at the pore to have a breakout happen. Number 1, you have too many skin cells at your pore. Number 2, you have too much oil at the pore, sebum, like I mentioned before. And number 3, the skin cells aren't sloughing off the way they should, so you have this kind of like very clogged, oily pore, and P. acnes gets in and you break out. Now the issue with only addressing the P. acnes part is twofold. Number 1, you can kill the bacteria, but those conditions at the pore are still going to exist. Number 2, the most important thing that I feel like is totally missed is that P. acnes is not something you can just like get rid of. We have bacteria and fungus and crazy stuff all over our face all the time. It's really gross. Don't Google it. Don't Google it. But P. acnes is always going to exist. I can guarantee you that I have P. acnes on my face right now. And I don't have acne because I don't have the other conditions present at the pore that will create acne. So for me, trying to get rid of P. acnes and or just trying to kill the bacteria that leads to acne, I mean, you're watching this and I experienced the same thing. When you only address that action step, right? That P. acnes action step, you're going to have issues long term because those other 3 conditions at the pore are still present. And the second you have a reintroduction of the P. acnes and or the P. acnes becomes resistant to the topical and or oral antibiotic, game over. And that's what happens. Comment with yes below if you had a situation in which you would try a new topical product, let's say a benzoyl peroxide or a salicylic acid, and it would work for 2 to 3 to 6 months even, and then it would stop. Does that sound familiar? Because that was my life. And that's because of antibiotic resistance, and the P. acnes would just kind of take over. So now that we know why I made this video and why I exist in the world, let's talk about the 5 secrets to healing your acne naturally. Without something like Accutane, that Mario Badescu pink cream, which like, again, everything has its place, but they never worked for me long-term and they don't work for my clients. So let's go. Number 1, balancing your blood sugar will help you heal your acne. Here's what they don't tell you. Again, what they don't tell you. I'm gonna try to speak about this very generally so that it doesn't become like a science video, because I don't want you to feel like you need to be a biologist to clear your acne naturally. But when you have mismanaged levels of glucose, okay, so you have spikes and falls throughout the day, you're priming yourself to have that first condition present at the pore, which is too many skin cells. And here's why. When your body releases insulin, it's to control your blood glucose levels, which is great. It's your body working the way that it should. However, when your body releases too much insulin over time, over 5 to 10 years, for example, you're going to have chronically elevated levels of insulin in your body and in your bloodstream, which can lead to insulin resistance, diabetes type 2 down the road. That's not what we're talking about today, but it's still important to keep in mind. When you have chronically higher levels, elevated levels of insulin, you have elevated levels of insulin growth factor 1. Insulin growth factor 1 is a mitogen. It encourages cell growth, which then encourages too many skin cells at the pore. I can't tell you how powerful going on a lower glycemic diet and managing your blood sugar levels can be from an acne perspective. Clients of mine have seen massive shifts in their skin in 10 to 14 days just by going on a lower glycemic diet. Now let's talk about this, because if you're on the internet and you're Googling the things for natural acne clearing, you've most likely come across someone telling you to stop eating sugar, to cut out sugar, to not eat candy. Lowering blood glucose levels naturally is a great thing. Never touching cake again is a bad thing. And actually that's the biggest problem that I see. When most people try to heal their acne naturally, they think I can't touch sugar, so I'm only gonna eat salmon and spinach. And what happens is they will go for 7 to 10 days on an extremely restrictive diet when it comes to sugar, and then they'll burn out, and then they will collapse on the couch with Oreos and pizza. That is a biological thing that happens for you, because if you're having chronically elevated and spikes and falls of blood glucose levels, and then suddenly you just shut off all glucose, right, and you go straight salmon, you're gonna go a little hypoglycemic, which is probably gonna make you crave more, which is gonna make the problem even worse and even more challenging, and your body needs fuel, you need glucose. So it's never about just like quitting sugar cold turkey. If you want to go on a lower glycemic diet, this is what I'd recommend. Decide on the day you're gonna start a lower glycemic diet. And again, this is key. Don't say I'm stopping sugar. Just don't. It's not gonna work. I mean, I love you. I want it to work for you, but it's not. And I've tried it and I have a crazy sweet tooth. So I speak from experience. It's not gonna work. Decide on the day you're gonna go on a lower glycemic diet, okay? Let's make it Monday, whenever Monday is when you're watching this video. Then go to the store, grab 5 different types of fruits, okay? I'm talking mangoes, I'm talking pineapples, I'm talking tangerines. Any fruit that has skin that you can't eat, so watermelons, mangoes, pineapples, oranges, like I just mentioned, it's going to have like more sugar, and it's going to satiate any sugar cravings that you have. Things like green apples or blueberries, they're lower on the glycemic index, which is great. But when you're trying to come off sugar, if you have a crazy sweet tooth or like a sugar addiction, you need to find a good substitute that's going to satiate a lot of your initial cravings. It's going to be an emotional craving, also like a physical craving too. And again, you don't want to stop eating sugar, but you want to find much healthier, much more nourishing substitutes between Oreos and Airheads, which are like my faves. You want to find something that's going to still satiate that like need for sweet. My mouth is literally watering while I'm talking about it, and not spike your blood sugar in the same way. So what I'm doing, what I'm sharing right now is sharing a tactic for you to create a better habit when it comes to sugar so that you can easily implement and follow through on your plan to go on a lower glycemic diet. Stopping sugar cold turkey, it's very hard. And why put yourself through that? I would recommend just grabbing a ton of fruits and then deciding on that Monday you're just gonna have fruit instead of the cookies, candies, cakes. Try that for 2 weeks. You'll like it and your palate will adjust too. And the next time you go to eat sugar, it's gonna be like, that's a lot. Number 2 acne clearing secret is to eliminate a lot of your harsh and or unnecessary topical products. Caveat here, do not go cold turkey. Don't stop all of your products like salicylic acid, benzoyl peroxide, or your tretinoin, so like a retin-A, a vitamin A product, don't go cold turkey on them. Don't stop those completely. But the products that you can most likely recommend, again, it's so particular for every person, but generally speaking with my clients, stopping oils, stopping any essential oils, please, no, 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 no. Serums, toners, crazy moisturizers, and or crazy face washes, like those are usually 9 times out of 10 unnecessary when it comes to acne. And believe me, I tried them all. If I were you, I would remove the ones I just mentioned: serums, moisturizers, wildly perfumed essential oil things, and or any perfumed like face washes, and simplify the heck out of your skincare routine while keeping in products like benzoyl peroxide, salicylic acid, tretinoins, and tapering off those if you want, while you combine other action steps. Again, if you're on a skincare, if your acne is really cystic and bad, and you're on a skincare routine, and you're using benzoyl peroxide, salicylic acid, or tretinoin, going off those cold turkey will not make anything better. What will make things better is if you stop using all of those unnecessary products that I mentioned and then begin the other action steps that I mentioned. Life will be good. And then you can start to taper off the other products, but you have to do it like strategically. Clear skin secret number 3 is you have to determine which hormone is most likely causing you the most problems. Here's why this is tricky. Hormonal profiles, especially for women, are complicated and they're incredibly varied, and the range of normalcy is huge, and where you are in your cycle is important. So let's say you go to the doctor and you're like, I want to get my hormones tested. And I have a video about this, about blood tests and your acne. I'll link to it there. But so I don't really think that they're going to help, to be honest, but that's okay. I think getting your numbers, knowing your numbers is good, but knowing more than anything, the top 3 hormones that I see that cause acne, knowing which one of those is like your problem child is going to be your best bet. The common hormones that I see problems with are high testosterone, high estrogen, or low progesterone. Those are kind of like the big 3 that I see cause acne for my clients. And again, the tough part is that you can go to the doctor right now, get your hormones tested, and your, let's say, estrogen maybe within normal range, a little higher, but within normal range, depending on your cycle. Same with your testosterone, same with your progesterone. But as we chart your cycles, I work with my clients in my program, The Clear Code, we chart everything. As we chart through your cycles, we start to notice that you're showing signs of low progesterone throughout the cycle, right? So your cycles are a little bit shorter. You're breaking out on your period. Or we see signs of estrogen dominance. So perhaps you're breaking out mid-cycle, pre-period. When you add in cruciferous vegetables or the supplement DIM or milk thistle or dandelion, things get really good. That's how you start to really identify what's happening with your hormones. Or let's say you just got off the pill, for example, within the past 6 to 12 months and you're experiencing a ton of acne here, that's most likely an androgen rebound, which is an increase in testosterone. And again, sometimes that stuff isn't going to show up in a blood test because let's say you went off the pill 6 months ago and your testosterone at that time, I'm using a random number, was 10. And then when you go to get it tested a month ago, it's now at 30. And that's still within the normal range of testosterone levels for a woman of your age, where you are in your cycle. But it's a huge increase from where it was 6 months ago, right? So there's so many factors you have to look at. I am a huge advocate for you getting your blood tests done every year. I'm going to my physical soon and I will be getting all of my tests done, not my hormones, but like everything else. And so I'm not advocating that you not get those things done because I absolutely believe that you should. What I am saying is tracking your cycle, tracking your hormonal shifts, tracking how your skin responds throughout a cyclical period. So at least 1 to 2 to 3 months, which is what we do in my program, is going to be the most informative because sometimes, I'd say at least 75% of the time, your hormones, if you have a normal period, right, it comes every 28 to 33 days, your hormones are going to be pretty normal, but you still may be having like symptoms of specific issues. And so getting clear on those by watching and tracking is super, super key. The 4th acne clearing secret is liver detoxification and doing it correctly and in a way that you can sustain over time. There are a few phases when it comes to liver detoxification, but please know that your liver is this like magical organ that does a lot of stuff for us. And one of the things that it does is it detoxifies out excess estrogens, excess toxins, all the things that may potentially contribute to disease or acne. And sometimes, slash often, our liver is having some trouble. It doesn't have the support and the resources it needs to process out the things that it needs to get rid of, and it can show up in your skin. For example, phase 1 of your liver detoxification is kind of our first line of defense, and our liver helps this phase 1 to begin, but we usually need an external catalyst. So think about when in the morning you grab caffeine, right? And you go to the bathroom shortly thereafter, right? That's an external catalyst to begin and support phase 1 liver detoxification, right? And what happens is, too, let's say you've been on the pill for an extended period of time, so you've been ingesting synthetic estrogens and other hormones, right? You're going to have just like a natural increase in estrogens in general. And so your liver just has to do more work, right? So supporting your liver in the best way can absolutely positively impact your natural acne healing journey. I talk about the things that I'm about to mention so many times, and I feel like I sound like a broken record, but hopefully I don't. Bitter herbs are my favorite way to support liver detoxification. They're my favorite way because they're the easiest and the least expensive. That's why they're my favorite. Dandelion tea is a bitter herb, milk thistle is a bitter herb, and cruciferous vegetables, things like arugula, bok choy, Brussels sprouts, broccoli, those are all going to help support bile flow from your liver, which helps support estrogen detoxification. Usually, clients come to me with 1 or 2 issues. They've gotten off the pill recently and they have too much testosterone, so like they have high androgens, and or they're dealing with excess estrogen, and so they need extra liver support in the form of DIM or cruciferous vegetables or dandelion tea, milk thistle, or all of the above. It really kind of depends on the person to person, which is definitely something that we go really deep into in my program. Acne clearing secret number 5 involves the gut-skin axis. Now, this gut-skin axis is important, y'all, and 2 doctors made it important, okay? We have Donald H. Stokes and John H. Pillsbury, these 2 doctors that really transformed my life when I first learned about them, because I read an article, I'll link to it below, about how what happens in your gut impacts your skin. And it blew my mind, because these 2 doctors recommended the introduction of Lactobacillus acidophilus cultures into the gut to improve the skin, and all of the subjects saw an improvement in their acne. When you've been on something like doxycycline for a long time, it can kill off good bacteria in your gut, which will negatively impact your skin. We all have opportunistic bacteria and or beneficial bacteria. We need the beneficial, obviously. But when you're taking something like a doxycycline, or you have a diet kind of high in foods that aren't great for you, you really need to support your gut in a way that allows you to just overall heal your gut to support your whole body, but also support acne clearing. There are generally 4 R's to natural acne clearing, and they are remove, replace, reinoculate, and repair. That means you remove offensive, challenging things for your gut health, for your tum. Let's say you drink milk every day and you know it hurts your stomach. You gotta stop drinking milk, at least for a bit, okay? Most food intolerances aren't like crucial. Again, if you know you have an allergy, obviously, I'm not a doctor, but always respect any food allergies to the 9s. But removing foods that you know hurt your stomach, let's start there. Number 2, you start to replace those foods with better things, kind of like I was chatting about before with the blood sugar management, those action steps around fruits, and or, for example, let's say you know you respond really poorly again to milk. Grab an oat milk latte instead of like a dairy latte. Reinoculate is really my favorite part because it's about adding really good bacteria in. You want to focus on adding in things like probiotic rich foods, so kimchi, sauerkraut, kefir, yogurts, again, non-dairy yogurts in most cases, but you want to really re-inoculate your gut with healthy bacteria. And then the repair part can begin, right? So the lining of your gut will heal. It will become less inflamed. You won't experience that leaky gut, aka, well, rather, intestinal permeability, aka leaky gut. You won't experience that kind of, what happens with leaky gut is that you aren't able to absorb nutrients the way you need to. So you aren't able to absorb the vitamins and minerals that you need to keep your skin clear. So healing that gut-skin axis, healing your gut to impact your skin positively is a huge secret that no one talks about. So how do all these secrets sound to you? I would love to know in the comments, number one. And I want to share that if you're interested in healing your acne naturally, if you've been struggling with natural acne healing, or even just having acne in general for a decade, or even 5 years, like most of my clients, I would love to see if I could help you heal your acne naturally with food via my acne clearing program, The Clear Code. You can click the link below to apply. It's an application-only program because I really want to make sure it's going to change your life. And if it's not, I'll tell you. And if it will, I'll tell you. I've helped thousands of people heal their acne naturally with food, and so I would love to see if I could help you too. Also, we have a private Facebook group where we share all things about natural acne healing, and you will find so many other people just like you dealing with the same challenges. So make sure you grab the link below for that as well and apply to that Facebook group. We'll accept you and we can chat with you and support you on your natural acne healing journey. If you like this video, make sure you subscribe to my channel and hit the bell to be notified when I post a new one. And if you have a friend, mother, brother, sister, aunt, anyone who deals with acne challenges like this, please send this video to them. I would love to support them and or just be like this kind of spark for them to confirm what they perhaps already know, which is that what's happening in their skin has a deeper root issue and need, and like putting a Band-Aid on the situation or just taking a pill is probably not going to solve their problem long term. I would love to support them in that intuition. All right, have a great day. I'll see you next time.